Welcome back to the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. Your host, Tomas Keenan, coming at you guys today. This is a last minute solo recording. I did it to myself again. I haven't learned my lesson. Ran out of episodes in my bank and don't have guests queued up to come in until I think 1 or 2 weeks from the point you're hearing this. So I'm recording this right now, October 22nd, 2024, 1:20 p.m. in the afternoon here in Dallas, which is Central Standard Time. And tomorrow morning, this show will be live and out because my man Aris is the jam, and he's going to have this thing live and rolling out there, guys, to you tomorrow by 6 a.m. That's when we launch on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. For those of you who've been longtime listeners and keep returning to the show, thank you very much. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, with absolute gratitude, thank you for showing up and continuing to listen, to watch, and all those things, because I checked the podcast stats on Listen Notes. And if you guys want to check this out for yourselves, you can go to listennotes.com and search the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. And last time I looked, which was about a week ago, we were one of the top 1.5% podcasts on the planet, which I think is like, how is that possible? And then a lot of my thought processes go like, am I that good? Like, I don't really think so. And that's a me problem. That's a self-worth problem, right? Full transparency. But the other thing is like, well, okay, there's this thing called consistency, because this past August, and I probably didn't mention it much, and I probably should have, come back into it. And that's why these solos are great, because I just come in here and just talk about what's on the top of my mind. And I have no idea what I'm talking about until I sit here for the most part. But this past August was the fifth birthday of me hosting this podcast. And excuse me, it's gone through a couple of iterations at this point in time. It was originally called the GPS Tracking Installers Podcast when I was heavily involved and still operating my installation company in that space, in the telematics space. And it had to change, had to evolve. And my target audience at that point was people in that industry, and it made a lot of sense. And as I grew and evolved and wound up exiting that company and started getting involved in the coaching, consulting, fractional COO stuff, those kind of things, it was time to elevate the brand, elevate the message, elevate the podcast, because I found, even though it was so niche down and branded for the tracking industry, I was talking about things that would help any business owner, not just guys in the telematics space, the tracking space, the car stereo space, which, for those of you listeners who've been here a while, that's where I come from. So yeah, 5 years, holy crap. I've gone back and listened to the first couple episodes in the past, and like I cringe every time I listen to them. And now it's like, I don't really go back and listen to them anymore. Like, the message is out. I've had the conversation either solo here, clearly, or with a really good guest. We've definitely gotten a bit more picky choosy with who we allow on as guests. It's one of the reasons that my queue isn't stacked full like it once was. And overall, this has been a chore. Like, there's some weeks, I'm just being real with you guys, there's some weeks that go by and I'm like, fuck, I got to record another podcast. That was today. And let me wrap up the craziness of my life right now and throw it at you guys. And this is not me complaining. I am grateful for all of this. And I created it, right? I will take full accountability here. So, I don't know, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, whatever it was, a while ago, my significant other, the wonderful, amazing Miss Catherine Tay, comes to me and says, hey, there's this woman that we both know. Her and her significant other are hosting a couples retreat. They want us to come, and they also want us to come and speak to these people, not about relationship coaching or like, couples coaching, because like that, we're not doing that. Catherine, for those of you guys who may or may not know, she's also a coach and does a lot of consulting as well. And her main gig is mindset coaching. She's heavy into spirituality, which has helped me tremendously. And her other big jam, and how we met originally, is she edited my first book. And we have sworn to each other that we're not going to become those relationship coaches. And the reason being is, every time that we've seen people put on the relationship coach hat, the relationship typically fails soon after. And we don't want that. Like, I don't want to tell people how to go live their lives and how to do better with their significant other. Like, it's not what I'm here for. It's not my specialty. But we have a very unique situation in the fact that we have successfully blended two families. She came out of a relationship and has 4 amazing, beautiful daughters. And I came out of a marriage and I had 3 amazing, beautiful children, 1 boy and 2 girls. So You combine us, we're two hard-driven entrepreneurs with multiple things going on at any given time. You combine that with now 7 kids, one of them being a boy, my poor son, Thomas. I laugh because I grew up that way too. I was pretty much the only dude in the house. So, it's been a wild experience blending these two families together in a good way. And we've had we hit our bumps in the road, and we've had some obstacles and hurdles we've had to overcome, like any relationship or any family. But at the end of the day, our blended family, they just gel together and work really well. And we're going to probably go in there and have some conversation in and around that. But this event that we're going to, we were originally going to fly out there to Arizona, and it's going to be in Lake Powell. And we opted last week because we were going to buy airline tickets pretty late. I had a bunch of points on one of my credit cards, and it was like, yeah, let's go use those points. And then we decided, we haven't spent a lot of time as a couple together, like solo recently, because of, 7 kids and craziness and business and all those things. Why don't we drive? That way we'll get to spend more time together. And it's only the 2 of us. So it's not like we're traveling with all the kids, and we're not going to have to stop 800 times. So instead we'll stop 600 times, because peeing and drinks and all those fun things. If anyone's been on a road trip, you know what I'm talking about. So we're turning this thing into a cross-country adventure. We're leaving here in Dallas, Texas. Right now it's 1:26 p.m. At 3 or 3:30 this afternoon. We're hopping in my truck, and we're headed west to Texas, which is cool. And this is a last-minute thing that I'm getting in here, so Aris can come in here and edit the podcast and kick things out. And yesterday was craziness too. So I've talked about it here a lot. I don't know if I've talked about it here a lot or not. Maybe I haven't. I'm trying to remember. I have a lot of conversations in and around software solutions, CRMs. High Level is the one that I use inside my own company here, Step It Up Academy. It's one that I recommend to all my clients, and I help a lot of my clients set up and implement that tool as well. And yesterday was the opening kickoff. Actually, today was the opening day for their 2024 summit here in Dallas. Yesterday, if you had like VIP or VIP plus tickets, you can get in a little bit earlier and start kicking around, having conversations. So a good buddy of mine, Patrick Allman, he's a past guest here on this podcast. You guys haven't gone and checked out his episode, you should. I'm going to mention Aris here. Hey, Aris, do me a favor, bud. Go ahead and drop the episode link to Patrick's episode into the show notes so people can easily find that. It was probably 2 months ago or so. But we had a great conversation. I've known Patrick for years. Him and I have been in and around the marketing / CRM / software communities for quite some time. And we just get along. He's got a no nonsense approach, and he will tell you what you need to hear, whether you want to hear it or not. And that aligns heavily with me. So over the past couple of months, we've just been helping each other out. Hey, I found this new thing. Hey, I need help with. Hey, could you take a look at this for me? Because I can't figure it out. He's one of those people who's in my corner, and I'm also in his corner, where we can support and promote each other. And it's honestly, it's a beautiful relationship. It's one that I'm grateful for as well, and I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to continue to foster it and to see where it grows and blooms and turns into. So anyway, back to the story here. Patrick reaches out to me and he says, "Hey, I got this idea. I want to hold a small micro event the day before High Level's 2024 summit kicks off, and I want to host it as close as possible to the hotel in Dallas. Do you know of any spots?" So, I have a co-working space that I have for my office location. Most days I work here out of my home, but I do have an actual office that I can go into when needed. And I looked up my co-working space. They had a place down there. It wasn't close enough for what Patrick wanted to do. It was like a 10-minute, 15-minute drive. He wanted something that was within walking distance, which totally made sense to me. So him, just being a resourceful dude, went out there, found a co-working spot 3 blocks away from the hotel where the High Level Summit was being hosted. We put together a little bit of marketing. We put together some communities. I watched this dude build a community in, 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. And we launched this event. We had 23 people register to come to this free event. And the goal for us was to get people into a room. I was going to teach them strategy. He was going to teach them the tactical implementation of the strategy that I was showing. and it worked really well. Long story short, so I went down there yesterday. We got to the co-working place at about 8:30. About 9:15, they finally opened the doors. Meanwhile, they're supposed to open the doors like 8:30. We had a lot of people outside, which was cool, and got to go in there, got to meet some really awesome, amazing people who are also fellow business nerds who like to operate inside of softwares and build automations and build bots and things that can really help us overall with the efficiencies inside of our company. And like, honestly, like I was around my people. I was around people who understood the things that I talk about at a very high level. And I was around people that I could also continue to learn from. And that's a really big piece of the puzzle for me. And I hope it is for you too. I don't want you guys to ever go, like you hear this all the time, right? You go into the room, you're the smartest person in the room, you got nothing to learn. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Matter of fact, I want to shut up, sit back and listen to the others, because there is guaranteed something that I can learn, whether that person is a noob or they are the absolute expert. And this was kind of the unique situation that we put together. You know, we geared this towards newer high-level users and people who may not have necessarily implemented the software like a rock star. And we had a mixed bag of people that came in. We had people who were absolute experts who probably knew more about the software than Patrick and I combined. And we had a handful of people who were absolute noobs. And we had a handful of people who were right in the middle, who kind of sort of knew what they were doing, but, you know, needed a little bit of guidance and extra help in hand. So we did that yesterday. We put some prep work into it. I mean, all said and done, we spent about $150 for the co-working space. It was really lean. Like, you know, we put this event on, didn't really spend any money whatsoever, but we showed up and we over delivered value at like a 10x level. And doing it with someone who's got the same mindset, the same drive, the same work ethic as you, the same ability to communicate effectively with other human beings and other leaders. Patrick's a master communicator, right? The guy is well-spoken. He's well-written, the whole 9 yards. And it was just, it lit me up. I came home, I left the house invigorated, knowing that this was going to be a great day. I was fired up and amped up the whole time I was there. So I was able to really be me and deliver the content that I needed to and connect with the people who were in the room. And on the drive home, I was still lit up because of all the cool things that I was taught and I learned, and all the new connections to people that I had. So this was cool stuff. And I want to give you guys an update on that too, and just say, hey, like, these things are out there. Often I recorded a Facebook Live yesterday morning before I was walking into the co-working space that we were holding this little micro event at. And I recorded this live video and I went in there and I said, you know, I know people listening to this show, there's a mixed bag of people. We got people who work from home like 99% of the time. We've got people who are road warriors who are on the road 99% of the time. And we've got the people kind of in between. We also got the people who are in the office 9 to 5 each and every day. For me, and I've done all of it, guys. Like, you name it, I've done. I've been the guy on the road. I've been the guy who goes into the retail store, the shop, and works the 18, 20-hour days. I've also been the guy for the last, I think now what, 2.5 years, 2 years. 2.5 years, I've been the guy who's 99% of the time staying home, working out of the home office. And I got to tell you something. There is something to be said about getting your ass out of the house and going into public and interacting with others. We can make connections online. We can make connections through podcasts, like you guys listening to this and me having conversation with you. If you're watching this on YouTube, which, by the way, you should go check it out, Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast on YouTube. Please go ahead and give us a follow. We'd love that. Shameless little plug right there. Regardless of where you're consuming this content, there's something different and something special about doing it face-to-face with another human being. Combine that now and add a meal or two into it. So now you got to sit down across from someone and you got to break bread with them. You start breaking bread with people and having those conversations over a meal, and it brings an even deeper connection to the person who's sitting across from you. So if you're the kind of person right now who's just sitting on your duff and maybe doing some stuff at home, cool, I get it. Like, I've done it. But get your ass out of the house and go meet some people, right? If you don't know what to do, if you don't know who to connect with, there's free networking meetings all over the place. You go do a damn Google search or go to Facebook and search local networking groups around me. You will pop up a ton of information and a ton of places that you can go into. And most of those networking groups meet up weekly. Am I telling you that you're going to go and close the biggest sale of your life if you go? No, but you will get out, you will get in front of new people, and you may learn something. That to me is the most important part. On top of learning something, you are increasing your chances to connecting to another human being who is like-minded to you, who you could potentially do life or business with. Okay. I said life or business. Sometimes it's life and business. I think it's important that we mix life in there too, because a lot of us are just all business focused all the time. And I was that guy for the longest time in my life. And I got to tell you, it serves until it doesn't. So make sure you're going out there and you're being intentional about life and business. And I want to leave you guys with that today. That's it, man. Like, go out there, just be a good overall human being. You guys, if you get value from this show, if you like what I'm talking about, you like the content that I put out there, just share this, share it with other people. Like, this is just scratching the surface with what we show and what we talk about behind the scenes with my paying clients at Step It Up Academy. And if you're ready to step it up, no pun intended, reach out, have a conversation with me, right? Send me a text, call me. If you guys want, I'm going to give you my phone number right now. All right. 469-507-3700. I'll say it again, 469-507-3700. You guys text me at that line. That's my work number. Okay. And it's an SMS. I can text from my work phone. That will connect you directly to me at any point in time. And now, if I'm sleeping or out doing something, obviously I'm not going to reply right away, but trust me, if you send a message, I'm going to get it. Okay. And I'm going to reply to it, and it's going to be me. If you want to have a conversation and see what it looks like to either work with me, and guys, working with me comes in so many different ways. And I'm going to rattle them off real quick because I haven't done this in a while, and I really need to give people a reminder. I need to do a better job of telling the world how I can help them. So number one, if you want something short and sweet and like a very specific topic that you want covered, I have paid coaching calls that you can get on with me, whether they're 1 hour, 90 minutes, or 2 hours. I've got a couple different options there. And a brief 10 or 15 minute call is all it's going to take to determine what you need from a call perspective. And I can send you the right link, which obviously the pay is going to change depending upon how much of my time you want to take up and what we need to cover. The other option we have here, and I've talked about this in a podcast before, is Startup Community. Startup Community is awesome. It is literally built, and it's my group coaching package where it's a small group of individuals and we help people. Phase one is we're helping you implement the foundations you need in your business, mission, purpose, core values, and all that kind of stuff. Phase two is the systems and processes needed by any business that you need to implement, right? Hiring processes, payment, payroll, onboarding, client experience, welcome packages, welcome emails, whatever that looks like from a process perspective. And we've got templates too, guys, by the way. We will help you dial them in and implement them into your business. And one of the cool things we do with Startup Community is when you join, and there's 2 payment options I'll go over in a second there. When you join Startup Community, we give you a high-level account. Okay, we give you your very own high-level sub-account because a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about and do in there, you're going to need to use that software in order to implement it. And it's also how we're able to send those templates over to you real quick. So the next thing is the one-to-one coaching. You can just work with me one-to-one. It's a monthly deal. Those prices start at $3,000 a month and go up from there, depending upon what you're looking for. And the other final way to work with me, no, it's not a final way. There's lots of other ways. We have fractional COO packages. So if you need somebody to come in and not just coach you, but someone's team to come in and actually push buttons and pull levers and help you get organized and become an integral part of your team, we can do that too. And those prices are going to vary depending upon what you need and how much time is required by myself and my team. And I'd say book a discovery call with me and we'll have a conversation and see if that's the right fit for not just you, but also me as well. And pricing wise, we can discuss it from there. And I'm always available for speaking engagements. You know, you guys want me to come in and train your team? I can do that via Zoom. I can do it in person. You want me to come in and do an on-site assessment where we dive deep into your company over a 2-day period? We can do that too. So there's lots of different ways you can work with me. If you want to know more about it, head over to the stepitupacademy.com website. And at the very top, you'll see a button that says book a call. Click that button, fill out the form, And trust me, I will set up a call with you. We will get you dialed in. I will answer any questions you may have. And that's it. It's really not difficult to find me and work with me. So if you guys are getting value from this, you're ready to step it up and do something cool. You're ready to build that business and push the needle forward. You want to close out 2024 and hit some real numbers in your business. Let's roll. Because this is what I do. It fires me up. I love doing it. I love helping people. It fulfills me inside as a human being. And that's it. I'm going to get off my high horse now. I got some stuff to go pack up to get ready for this road trip in a couple hours. And I'm excited to get out of here and go spend some time with the lady. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. And I will talk to you guys next week. Check you later.